It's not the makeup, it's the way that he brings out the lost, scared person inside the monster.
Could you stand still? No, the secret is find people who are involved.
This is the feeling of that night. Hands hanging out of windows. You could see little bits of faces.
And now I'm set to shoot at a 1/10 of a second. That was the infamous erotic kiss.
I kidnapped her basically and brought her into my trailer. They were very upset with me because this trailer was covered in blood when we were done.
I've had the rare opportunity to meet many amazing photographers who move through the different landscapes to create powerful images. I'm always inspired by how these images transform the way we see people and understand the world. A great photograph needs no explanation, but on Capture, these incredible people tell the story of creating their most memorable images. I'm Mark Seliger, and this is Capture. Hi, I'm Mark Seliger, and welcome to Capture. Today in the studio, we have Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead, and great actor and photographer, sculptor, filmmaker, but we're excited to talk to you about your work as a photographer. And the legendary, amazing Al Wertheimer, who is one of my favorite photographers of all time, king of the king, Elvis. Norman, you started in photography before acting.
I took the junior high school class where they teach you how to develop, your photographs and stuff. Your first assignment is usually at a graveyard. I started to dabble a little bit there, but once I started doing film work, I just had the opportunity to travel to different unique places and see things. And
You always brought a camera.
Always brought a camera.
Yeah.
But I'd done other art shows, different mediums, and the photography thing with traveling just really works well. Some friends of mine and I started this place down on Bowery in Kinmere. It was sort of supposed to be like a Warhol type factory. Do our own art shows and stuff like that. So that sort of helped me to decide to do a book and so forth.
Yeah, and this is your new book, which is one of my favorite lines in a Laurie Anderson.
Yeah.
The sun's coming up like a big bald head. We're going to talk more about the book, and we're going to also talk about your new Taschen book too, Al. Elvis, The Birth of Rock and Roll by Taschen, and this is the special edition? Limited edition? How many are there?
There's 1,956 in honor of the year in which it was taken.
Amazing. One of the breakthroughs for you was that you were called up by RCA, the pop division.
I showed Ann Fulchino my portfolio. This is my first year in photography. And she says, can you come down to photograph the Tommy Jimmy Dorsey show? She brings me to this dressing room, and there are two people sitting in that room. And she goes over to the younger man sitting there with his Argyle socks showing 1 foot on the dressing room table. And she says to the younger man, Elvis, I'd like you to meet Al Wertheimer. He's going to be taking some pictures of you, I hope, if it's all right. And the younger man kind of grunts and says, sure, why not? But doesn't even bother to look up. And that's how I met Elvis. And then I became his shadow. And he hadn't had a gold record yet. So he was just a regional singer. Everything you see here is my first year in professional photography.
Wow. Tell me how you got your start into photography.
I didn't get into photography till I was about 16, 17 years old. And I always considered myself interested in stories. I wanted to become a storyteller. But I wasn't very good at writing. But I was always visually oriented. Got to Cooper Union, the college I attended. I took photographs of students and faculty, and it eventually wound up in the school newspaper, and I liked it. I liked the idea of credit Al Wertheimer, and this was all available light stuff, and I said, maybe I should pursue this.
You were sort of beyond the idea of photographing in available light. You were interested in photographing in available dark. Is that?
Well, I coined the phrase available darkness. And what I found was that people tend to be more themselves the darker the place. So that
Right.
if you go into a bar, they're outgoing, they're themselves. You go into a fluorescent lit room, all of a sudden everybody is more or less,
It's a different
concerned.
experience.
Even on television, it's the same way. Where
Yeah.
if a shot's lit too brightly, unnaturally so, then you're very, very aware of it. That's so true. I kidnapped her basically and brought her into my trailer. They were very upset with me because this trailer was covered in blood when we were done shooting all these pictures.
I'm not against light, but if I have to choose, I would rather be low-key and leave the scene pretty much the way it is.
But you can just sort of casually start a conversation and see stuff, but it's sort of probably like it is to work with Elvis after a while, I imagine.
You're almost invisible.
I prefer that. You know, I find it more intimate.